When you really look at Power Book 4, Force, one of the most painful and confusing storylines this season is what happened between Jenid, D-Mac, and King Kilo. On the surface, it seems simple. Jenid handed over D-Mac to save himself or protect his operation. But if you dig deeper, there's way more to it. This wasn't just a move about business or survival. It was about desperation, betrayal, and the crumbling loyalty that's been eating away at Chicago's street alliances since the very first episode. To understand why Jenid gave D-Mac to King Kilo, you have to understand the situation Jenid was in leading up to that decision. By the time this moment happens, Jenid's world is falling apart. The CBI, once a powerful, unified crew, is divided. Diamond is trying to play clean, trying to build something legitimate and smart. Jenid, on the other hand, can't let go of the streets. He's addicted to control, addicted to the rush, and too deep into the game to see any other way out. At this point, Jenid's relationship with Tommy is strained. He doesn't trust Tommy, but he also can't compete with him. Every move Tommy makes expands his influence, while Jenid's crew keeps shrinking. Add in the fact that Jenid's been making bad deals, losing product, and fighting to keep respect, and you've got a man who's running out of options. The pressure's on from every direction. Money's low, loyalty's cracking, and he knows one mistake could mean the end of his entire operation. That's where King Kilo comes in. King Kilo's been rising quietly, but aggressively. They're not just another rival. They're calculated, connected, and willing to exploit anyone's weakness to climb the ladder. They saw Jenid's situation and knew they could use it. For King Kilo, D-Mac isn't just some kid. He's leverage. He's Tommy's blood, the one thing that can actually get under Tommy's skin. Now, Jenid knows that too. He's seen how Tommy protects D-Mac, how he keeps him close but still tries to steer him away from the mess. Tommy sees D-Mac as family, as a shot at redemption for all the damage he's done. Jenid giving up D-Mac isn't just a betrayal, it's a message. It's saying, I'll do whatever it takes to survive, even if it means crossing the line you thought I wouldn't. But why would Jenid go that far? That's where his desperation really shows. By this point, Jenid's backed into a corner. The streets are turning on him, Diamond's distancing himself, and the money isn't adding up. When King Kilo approached him, it wasn't just an offer, it was an ultimatum. They knew they had the upper hand. They could either help Jenid rebuild what's left of his operation, or they could crush him completely. All they wanted was D-Mac. And from Jenid's point of view, that probably looked like a necessary sacrifice. He's thinking short-term, just trying to survive the week. He's thinking, if I give them the kid, they'll leave me alone long enough to rebuild. What he doesn't realize is that by handing D-Mac over, he's not just selling out Tommy, he's destroying the last bit of credibility he has left. Because in the streets, there's nothing lower than snitching or selling out family. And D-Mac might not be Jenid's blood, but he's close enough to Diamond and Tommy that the betrayal feels personal. What makes this move even colder is that Jenid knows exactly what could happen to D-Mac. He's not blind. He knows King Kilo doesn't just take someone for business. They use people to send messages, to torture, to kill. So when Jenid hands D-Mac over, it's not just business, it's survival at the cost of his soul. And that's something we've seen building in Jenid for a while. Every decision he's made since Season 1 has been pushing him closer to this version of himself, a man who's lost control, who's too deep to turn back, and who doesn't care who he drags down with him. The tragedy in all this is that Jenid used to be one of the smartest players in the game. When Power Book 4 started, he had potential. He had charisma, strategy, and leadership. He could have built something real with Diamond, something that blended the street hustle with structure. But ego and greed got in the way. He wanted to be the one in control, the face of CBI, and that ego blinded him to the consequences. By the time he realizes what he's done, it's too late. Now, let's talk about how this move is going to turn out, because this decision doesn't just affect Jenid and D-Mac. It changes. First, for Tommy, this betrayal is personal. He's lost people before, Ghost, Liliana, Gloria, but D-Mac is different. D-Mac represents a piece of his family that Tommy didn't even know he had for most of his life. He's young, raw, and trying to figure out his place in a world that doesn't make sense. When Tommy finds out that Jenid sold him out to King Kilo, it's not going to be about business or money. It's going to be about blood. And when Tommy's emotions get involved, things get dangerous. If there's one thing we've learned about Tommy, it's that he never lets betrayal go unanswered. He's not the type to talk it out, he's the type to make an example. Janet's move guarantees one thing: retribution. Tommy's not going to just hit back. He's going to make it loud, brutal, and public. He's going to make sure everyone in Chicago knows that selling out family comes with a death sentence. For D-Mac, though, this situation is heartbreaking. This is someone who's been trying to find his place, caught between wanting to impress Tommy and trying not to end up like everyone else around him. Getting caught up in this mess will either make him or break him. If he survives, he's going to come out harder, colder, and probably more like Tommy than ever before. But if King Kilo decides to use him as bait or leverage, things could get ugly fast. The wild card in all this is Diamond. Because once he finds out what Jenna did, it's over for their brotherhood. Diamond spent so much time trying to protect Jenna, trying to give him another chance, trying to fix what's broken. But this crosses a line that can't be repaired. Handing over D-Mac isn't just betrayal, it's a declaration that Jenna no longer cares about anyone but himself. And if Diamond has to choose between blood and principle, this might finally be the moment he turns his back for good. What's fascinating about this storyline is that it shows how fragile loyalty really is in power. Everyone talks about family, honor, and respect, but when pressure hits, those words don't mean much. Janet's decision proves that even the people you think you can trust will sell you out if the price is right or the fear is strong enough. The ripple effect from this one move will reshape the entire city. King Kilo now has leverage over Tommy. Janet has officially burned every bridge he had left. Diamond will be forced to take sides, and that could mean war between factions that used to be allies. The streets of Chicago are already unstable, but this betrayal just lit a fuse that can't be put out. In the end, Janet's move to hand D-Mac over to King Kilo isn't about strategy or business. It's about fear. It's the decision of a man who's lost everything and is clawing to hold on to whatever's left. But in doing so, he's sealed his fate. Because if there's one universal truth in power, it's this: once you betray family, your days are numbered. So, how will it turn out? The short answer: badly. Janet's betrayal will trigger a chain reaction. Tommy's retaliation will be swift and brutal. King Kilo might think they've got the upper hand for now, but Tommy's not the kind of man you cross without paying the price. D-Mac's survival, if he makes it out alive, will harden him, make him more ruthless, and possibly set him up as the next generation of Egan-style leadership. And Janet? Whether it's Tommy, Diamond, or King Kilo themselves, someone's coming for him. Because at the end of the day, in Power Book 4, Force, every decision has a cost. And Janet's choice to give up D-Mac might just be the one that finally takes him off the board, permanently. For more videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.